Hey, my beautiful people, what's going on? Will here. Welcome back to Flawless Crested Geckos. And right out the gate, gonna throw it out there. We are very sorry. Accept our most humble apologies for not addressing something like this at an earlier time. It was brought to our attention by one of you viewers, which is really cool. Again, if you're following us here, go over to Instagram and give us a follow over there. We have a very strong following and growing over there as well. We would love to have you be a part of the family, not only here, but over on Instagram as well. And we kind of always lead by saying we want to breed and bring everyone together, whether you're a beginner, whether you're a keeper, an enthusiast, maybe you're just interested in crested geckos, right? And you're not even on a breeder level. We want to make our brand, our channel, welcoming for everyone. It's almost truly like a safe space for everyone to come gain the information, get the education if we're educating, and overall just have a lot of fun and enjoyment with crested geckos, right? So the topic that we kind of, I guess, glanced over these years is Crested Gecko Breeding Timeline. Okay, what is the Crested Gecko Breeding Timeline? Now, if you ask different breeders and different keepers, you're going to get so many different answers, right? So we're going to give you our example, a good blueprint, a good guide to go by, and you can kind of add this no matter what your game plan is, no matter what your region is, where you are in the United States or worldwide. Because different locations can present different issues with weather and I guess seasons, we would say. So everyone has their breeding season. Everyone has their own way of doing things. So we're going to run you through how we're going to do it and the way you can apply it to yours. So we're going to number the months, okay? Instead of saying, because we typically start pairing at the end of February, some people do it at the end of March, some people do it in December. It's really irrelevant for the purposes of this video. We want to kind of throw it out there as best as we can to be a blanket where it's kind of one size fits all if we just number the months, and then you can kind of apply it where you see fit as you move along through your breeding season. Month one is going to be your introduction month. All right, that's when you introduce your geckos. You're going to make sure that before you do that, obviously you're going to make sure that you're going to have healthy geckos. You want to make sure they're properly conditioned, not just weight. You want to observe them, make sure that their body health is really good, ready to go into a breeding season. That way, if you start off in a good setup, you'll end most likely in a good setup. So you guys, we won't bore you to death with our setup. We've told you guys several times on how we, move our males around. But ideally, you want to make sure that your geckos are 2+ years old. Weight range is going to be right around 45 grams. There are some things that can kind of change that. If your male or female is tailless, you can kind of adjust that by 5 grams or so. But again, if you watched our previous video from last week, do not rush to breed a young or a light in weight gecko. It will literally lead to disaster. So month 2, all right, now we're talking about courtship. Egg laying, begins around month 2. You're gonna have signs of mating behavior, right? You're gonna have them making that weird noise, especially your males. Your males are gonna tend to be bitey. Occasionally, you're gonna have females that are gonna be not necessarily flighty, but a little bitey themselves. You'll have certain females that, want to tussle back and forth with their males before they will allow them to breed. This is really normal behavior. Now, also in month 2 is, again, you're gonna wanna make sure that you're checking your female's calcium sacs, okay? You wanna make sure that they're nice and full. There are several different things you can do to supplement calcium. Obviously, you want to offer calcium dusted bugs on a weekly basis. You also keep giving them their complete gecko diet. That's, you know, you definitely need to stick to that, but you want to offer them calcium as well. Now, if they're not on calcium dusted bugs, maybe they're off of bugs completely, they have liquid calcium that you can utilize and that you should have on hand as well. Again, referencing the last video that we did, go check that out. It's a really, really good video, according to you guys. After you've done that, the calcium sacks are ready. You want to make sure, obviously, that their lay boxes are set up. Audra have done several videos actually on setting up lay boxes. We tend to set them up seasonally and make sure that we present them with a new lay box every single season. We wash and sterilize the lay box after the season is over, and you want to make sure that it's humid in that lay box, because not only will the females go in there, the males will go in there as well. It will help them increase their humidity and help them during their shed moments, especially, you know, after they lay their eggs. They may go down there and guard them. They have these different behaviors that they go through, these different phases they go through during the egg laying process. The first clutches is normally will hit the ground or hit the lay box between 30 to 45 days after introduction.
Are you ready to take your love for crested geckos to the next level? Welcome to the Flawless Crested Geckos Patreon, where passion meets opportunity. With 2 tiers, $50 and $100 a month, your membership is not just support, it's an investment. Every dollar goes straight into your very own Flawless savings account, ready to be used toward purchasing that gecko you've always wanted. As a Patreon member, you'll unlock exclusive early access to every single website update we have. That's 48 hours to view and purchase geckos before the public ever sees them. Plus, enjoy 5% off and free shipping all year long. Looking for even more? That $100 tier gives you rollover funds so you can stack your savings for those big dream gecko purchases. But that's not all. Membership also means monthly gecko giveaways, free merchandise, and access to exclusive content designed for both seasoned breeders and brand new keepers. At Flawless Crested Geckos, we're more than just a Patreon. We're a family, a flawless family, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. So don't wait, join today and start enjoying all of those benefits. Your perfect gecko could be waiting for you exclusively here at Flawless Crested Geckos Patreon.
Now it goes into kind of easy peasy mode, right guys? Months 3 through 5. You're gonna pretty much get regular clutches. The care is pretty basic. Nothing really generally changes. Females are gonna lay 2 eggs every 30 to 45 days. You wanna make sure that you manage their stress. You support their diet, obviously, and that you're consistently checking for fertility. What does all of that mean? You want to make sure that, you know, you're handling your geckos, especially your females as well. Make sure that, you know, you're keeping an eye or keeping notations on their enclosures when they laid their last set of eggs. That way you could be mindful of any egg binding issues or trouble laying any eggs, or at least be looking out for when to expect eggs. There's kind of a good little 2-week window where, you know, they're generally going to lay their eggs. Ours generally tend to lay them almost to the T, to the 30 days, teetering back and forth between a 5-day window. But overall, it should be a 14-day window there. Again, 30 to 45 days. They're going to keep consistently laying eggs. During the time, you want to keep checking on their calcium sacks to make sure that they're nice and full, because this process of laying for the females is extremely stressful on their bodies, especially if they're a smaller frame female, maybe a first-year female. And you want to make sure you keep a good eye on that, which leads into months 6 through 8. Incubation and hatching. You're full swing now. You're getting used to what to expect as far as the care of your breeding crested geckos, males and females. Typically for us, our males are just being kept and taken care of. We're no longer pretty much housing them together after we start receiving fertile eggs. They've done their job for the season. They're kind of just chilling, you know, getting fat and living good for the rest of the season, which is really, really cool. So eggs generally hatch anywhere between 60 and 120 days. Since we incubate our eggs at 68 degrees, do not get scared. We've had eggs hatch at 140 days, 140 plus days. Because the eggs are being kept so cool, it allows them to incubate for a longer period of time. As the temperature is higher, obviously you get closer and closer to that 60-day hatch period. Word of the wise, we would try to stay clear of the hot temps on incubating. That's when you run into a lot of incubation issues from what we've seen out there. We've always incubated anywhere between 72 degrees and down, and we've had great results doing it that way. So tips on setting up good hatching setups. Again, you don't need an incubator. We have 2 incubators for the Crested Geckos. You don't need it. If you're keeping it in a room or facility where your temperatures are, 72, 74 degrees, you're perfectly fine. Anything lower than that, you're perfectly fine. There's rare that there's homes that's keeping their temps inside the homes at 68 degrees. Again, we would fear more the higher temperatures, 76 plus degrees as far as incubation. It can be done, yes, but you're kind of pushing the threshold and sacrificing possibly poor structure, possibly failure to thrive. There's quite a few things to kind of look out for when you're incubating at such a high temperature. During that same time, when they hatch out, good rule of thumb, a good piece of advice we've ended up adding to our standards. When they hatch out of the egg, we have a small little dish filled with water where they'll have all the goop on them and maybe the substrate from your lay box or your egg box, and we'll take them out of there. We'll give them a little swim in the water, and then we'll put them into their enclosure with water drinking dish as well as plastic vine to be able to shed afterwards as well inside their enclosure. All right, now that leads to months 9 through 12. Month 9 through 12 of your breeding cycle. For the babies, you've already set them up on your feeding schedule. Our schedule is Mondays and Thursdays as far as gecko diet. We've moved from Thursdays to Friday for offering calcium dusted bugs. You're checking in on the growth milestones on, hey, this hatchling hatched out at this date, and now, 3 months down the road, it may be 7 grams. From 3 months to 6 months, it may be, 14, 15 grams. It literally, you want to make sure that your geckos are progressing. Now, if your gecko is not progressing that fast or as fast as the others, it's not, a big issue. Some geckos just develop a little slower than others. It doesn't necessarily even mean that they're failing to thrive. It just means that maybe they don't like bugs, or maybe they didn't get on bugs as fast. Maybe they're just a little nonchalant as far as their eating habits, but eventually they always catch on, and pretty much it's all go from there. During that same time period of 9 to 12 months, your breeders, as far as your males, we've already kind of had them off to the side doing their thing, preparing for the following season. But also your females, you're giving them some good food, you're giving them some nutrition, you're making sure that their calcium sacs are still full, because in the same time they're going to now stop laying eggs, and now they're going to be pretty much rebuilding their bodies for the following season to come in. So again, this is time where you can evaluate them. You can determine whether you're going to breed them the next season. Again, they are not like traditional mammals. They can be bred season after season after season. We don't typically breed all of our females every single season. We're looking for very specific things in our projects, and if we can't progress something with a female because we're severely outweighed in our ratio of males to and females to males. That being said, we make sure that we obviously have several different options to go with when it goes to our pairing season, and we want to make sure that it's going in the direction we want it to go in, and not the direction it's just kind of taking us in, if that makes sense. And that's it, guys. That's your month-to-month guideline for your Crested Gecko breeding timeline. If you found this to be helpful, hit us up with a like, please. Hit that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when videos like these drop. We really appreciate you greatly. It's Will, Flawless Crested Geckos, and we out.